Are you sick and tired of having low self-esteem? Does it feel like no matter what manifestation technique you do, you can't seem to master being that girl? In today's vulnerable video, I will be discussing how I permanently ended my low self-worth and low self-esteem for you as a Black woman. If this sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned.
Do you ever dream of living life healed and unbothered by the trauma and pain of the past? I know I do. And on my channel, Blissfully Black Women, I share my insight and all the ways I personally healed my father wounds and traumas to live a full and happier life. If this sounds nice to you, grab your favorite stuffy, snack and drink, and let's get the topic and discussion going. But before we move on, please take a good look at the community guidelines.
My life, honestly, have been a series of traumatic events. I have gone through a lot of healing stages, a lot of pain, and I felt like it was never ending for me. For a long time in my life, I had low self-esteem from certain traumatic events that really did a number on me, and I have definitely experienced feeling lost, fearful and alone in this world, especially with my raging father wounds. My emotional needs for male validation gotten out of hand, and I started seeking validation from men that don't deserve my time, and each time I gave my time away to a man I tried dating out of desperation was really not worth it. And men that you tend to date when you have low self-esteem and self-worth tend to be the worst type of men, and on top of all that, my life was a complete mess, and also my family life was a complete mess as well until I started my self-improvement journey. One thing that I always wanted to learn how to improve on is my self-esteem, but it has always been hard for me to improve on it because I didn't know how when I searched up books and read videos. When I searched up videos and read books, it didn't really help me. It was always some overly macho, airy, fluffy jargon about how you shouldn't compare yourself to someone else, but it didn't really help me, and I was a complete mess for a long time. The whole low self-esteem thing, been there. I'm a Black woman, and it's messed with pretty much every part of my life. Messed up how I see myself, messed with my approach to dating guys, and even messed with my connection to God. I used to pray, but it was more like begging him for help all the time, and I never felt good about myself. Always felt kinda desperate, you know? Those days of low self-esteem totally suck. Not a good vibe at all. So many times, I felt unloved because, well, I've been through a ton of pain and trauma in my life. It really made me think I wasn't loved, and it was tough, especially when it comes to my relationship with my father. Dealing with emotional wounds, all those things were hard because I didn't have guidance or help. I just didn't feel the love, and happiness seemed out of reach. I'd often feel sad because I wasn't sure if God was actually hearing my prayers. I constantly felt like I was playing second fiddle to other women, like they were always being chosen over me. Understanding that you are deeply cherished by God took me a while, mainly because I struggled to comprehend the nature of God and my role in it. I'm not claiming to be the holiest person, but what I've learned is that when you stray away from God, you often find yourself in situations that are outside of His plan. It can make your life more challenging, leading to bigger traumas and issues because you're disconnected from Him. When it comes to God, it's essential to recognize that you are highly loved and cherished, regardless of whether you're more on the spiritual or religious side. Believing in Him, it's beneficial to affirm it to yourself. Look in the mirror, meditate, and say, I am loved and highly cherished by all. I am loved and highly cherished by all men. I am loved and highly cherished by all people. Repeat it and build high self-esteem for yourself. Choosing to love yourself is your right, and it can genuinely make you feel so much better. Feeling low is just part of being human. It's okay to feel imperfect and to carry the weight of sadness and depression from past traumas. Even if those events happened years ago, it's normal to still feel their impact today. You are not alone in feeling this way. One thing that has really helped me with my low self-esteem is being compassionate toward myself. I read affirmations and speak positive words over myself. Since I love stuffed animals, I reward myself with hugs from them. Taking the time to care for myself and heal has made a significant difference. Remember, it's completely normal to feel bad sometimes. Give yourself the compassion and love you deserve. The real power lies in your choices, you know? I've experienced two versions of myself. There's the version that listens to music, feeling rich and lavish, like the beautiful girl I'm supposed to be. Then there are times when I feel less than, unworthy of love, and not enough. When it comes to low self-esteem, it's a roller coaster of highs and lows. But here's the thing, it's up to you to decide what you deserve in your life. Your self-esteem is entirely subjective, and you shouldn't let others define who you are or what you deserve. Love yourself. Be okay with having the audacity and the right to choose who you want to be in your life. One of the toughest things for me was building true self-esteem. You know, the kind where I don't need to ask others about my appearance or seek validation in any sort of way. True self-esteem is when you step out knowing you look good because you've chosen the person you want to be, recognizing your worth and embodying it. It's about walking on faith and just letting go, knowing you are worthy and beautiful, deserving of all the things you desire in life. Letting go has been the hardest part for me, the real challenge. But once I started to release and believe in myself, everything changed. It's crucial to let go, walk on faith, and choose the person you want to be. And literally be that person, or how a lot of people say online, that girl. Acknowledge your own worth. Stop seeking approval or validation from others. It's about validating yourself and letting go and letting God. Letting go is incredibly crucial when it comes to manifesting, especially when manifesting your best self. You need to consciously choose the person you want to be and remind yourself that's who you are. Recognize your value, uniqueness, and special qualities. To manifest self-esteem, acknowledge and accept these aspects about yourself. Letting go is the key to this process, letting go and letting God take over. It can be tough, especially if you're used to having low self-esteem, constantly seeking validation and approval, lacking trust in yourself. It's a challenging cycle. However, in the present moment, spiritually speaking, you are perfect and whole as you are. You are good enough, and your desires are valid. You don't need elaborate rituals to boost self-esteem or feel beautiful. You just need to acknowledge and accept your worth. Choose the person you want to be, leave the rest to God, and continue with your life. This can be exceptionally difficult, especially if you've experienced trauma. But allowing yourself to go through this process can lead to a beautiful transformation. For those watching this, I challenge you to choose who you want to be, let go of everything else, stop seeking validation, and become an empowered individual doing what you love. Being yourself is the most powerful thing you can ever be in your life, whether you believe it or not. If you're not there yet, keep doing the inner work and choose the person you want to be. Be aware of those feelings that tell you otherwise, and learn to ignore them. You've got to build grit and resilience, because there will be people, or maybe even your own thoughts, saying you're not good enough. That's when you need to practice resilience and show compassion to yourself. Remember, at the end of the day, you've got your own back, and so does God. You need to be your own cheerleader and truly love yourself.